Host, guests, and callers, and not those of radio station KICK, Vision Communications Incorporated, its management, or advertisers. Vision Communications Incorporated is not responsible for the validity or accuracy of information presented on this program. Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norm Shealy and Dr. Sergey Sorin. Get the health answers you need from the creator of holistic medicine and the 2020 Holistic Doctor of the Year. To be a part of the show, call 417-447-1777. Wellness Wednesday. Now, here are your hosts, Dr. Norm Shealy and Dr. Sergey Sorin.
Good afternoon. Today, I'm here alone, but I want to let you know that Dr. Sorin is doing extremely well still. He just had another engagement today. And today we're going to talk about fear, the greatest problem in the world, because fear is the cause of virtually all stress whatsoever. I wonder what it was like back in the good old days, before radio, before television, before electricity, before phones, when all you could do was wait for the buggy or the Pony Express to bring you the news or hear the gunshots coming in. Even in the bubonic plague days, they didn't have any kind of way of alarming people till it was too late. And I must say, in the last 14 months, the pseudodemic, fake-ademic, fear-ademic has caused, in my opinion, the greatest fear-mongering in the history of the universe. I personally do not turn on television at all. I don't even listen to the news, even going to and from the clinic these days, because I'm just not interested in hearing how bad life is. And there's no fact that I can remember put out in the last 14 months, which is not controversial or somebody says it was wrong. Why bother listening to that? Now, what are the fears of? Death? Well, I've never feared death. My favorite statement, I've probably told this before, was when I was 4 years old, climbed up on a lard can in my grandmother's house to look out the window and watch somebody making a snowman. Grandma came in, "Bud, be careful, you get hurt." "Grandma, don't worry, if you're going to die, you're going to die." She replied, "Of course, that's true, but you can shorten your days." Well, whatever my days are, they're here. The next one is being an invalid. And that, I have to admit, I would not like to be an invalid. And of course, that could be any kind of illness for a lot of people, but I've gone through almost total paralysis and recovered, half a dozen surgical operations and recovered. And so I don't fear being an invalid at this point. I figure if I'm bad enough, I'll just die. The next, of course, is poverty. And fortunately, I've not had to worry about that. I grew up in a very low income family, but never missed a meal, and paid and I was paid for my education through medical school. So I feel as though I got as good a deal as you can get. And of course, then there is loss of love or abandonment by a loved person. And fortunately, I have not had that. I've not had that kind of stress, or I've not allowed myself to get in touch with it. And then there's the fear or the blaming of God. God did not do this, or why did God allow that? To me, God doesn't intervene, probably, in our individual lives. We are responsible for our thoughts, our actions, and the outcome thereof. And in this pseudodemic, fake-ademic, stupidemic, we need to detach. And the only way I can detach is with autogenic training. And I talk about that every week because it is the foundation for retraining your brain. However, I want to be sure that you understand that we are responsible for our thoughts, our actions. We are responsible for dealing with whatever life, deals us. Don't be afraid. Be prepared, be ready, and be at peace. Now, yesterday, for instance, we had a sudden, really heavy snowstorm. It came down fast and furious. Well, so what? It's another day. It didn't cause me any problem. I haven't heard about any number of accidents occurring. And today is as gorgeous as it could get. So be aware that fear is not worth having. But suppose you have a bomb come off near you. Well, that would startle me, I think. I wouldn't go running towards it, but I don't know where I would run away from it either. So I would just probably, if I was at home, go into the basement. If I was at the office, there's no basement, I would just wait and see what happens. I don't overreact. I mean, like during the election, for instance, last year, I don't care what happens. It's going to happen. No matter how bad the news was, how agitated people are, I'm going to wait till it's over and find out what happens. I mean, interestingly, of course, with the internet, I only get about 100 emails a day. And I would say a third of them I delete immediately just when I see them. And if they're from a friend, I answer them. And if they're from a stranger, I may look at it before I decide to answer or delete it. But I don't bother with worrying about it. And every once in a while, I get behind. I mean, I've been 300 behind once. But so what? I mean, it's not something that I can do anything about when that happens. And so I deal with it. So the reaction to fear, in my opinion, is biogenics. And we talk about that a bit every week, but I want to let you understand where it came from. In 1972, I was introduced both to biofeedback and to past life therapy and autogenic training all in one morning. And I was interested in all of them. And I immediately read a book on autogenic training. At the time, there was one big book on it. And I immediately began doing it with my patients. It was so effective that I began doing it. And after 3 months, I was trained and I began thinking, yeah, but this is so interesting. How do you learn? What else is there in self-control? So I went back to what is now Saybrook University to get a PhD in psychology to really study self-control, self-regulation. And out of that came biogenics. And at that time, of course, I had maybe half a dozen or a dozen different themes, if you will. Now we have 68 different exercises, all variations on that theme. The important ones, of course, are for emotional balancing of all kinds, and that's everything you can think of. And there are ones related to pain, and there are several different ones specifically for gaining control over pain and for also spiritual, well, whatever you want. My favorite, of course, of all of these is every thought is a prayer. Thinking sets in motion spiritual forces to bring about change in body, mind, companions, hopes, despairs. Everything is related to thinking. And, of course, in today's world, I don't worry about whatever's happened politically. It's going to happen. I can't affect it. I'm not going to get involved in politics. I'm not going to try to change politics. That's not my life. My life is to help people. And we have available those 68 exercises in a biogenics course available for everybody. It is www.biogenics, BIOGENICS course.com. And we make this information available for everyone, as anyone who's willing and wants to explore truly holistic methods of optimizing health for youthful longevity and alleviating pain and other kinds of stress can have the opportunity to do so. That's what it's about. We have many, many comments of people who are working with that. Interestingly, I often get emails from people about that, telling me how wonderful it is. And I get some asking me questions to help them understand it better. But it is a complete course in itself, and it is available online right now. We also have one called Holistic Health training, holistichealthtraining.com. And that, of course, is also about pain, especially because, we've been working in this field for 50 and one half years. I started with this in October of 1971, and that was the beginning of my foray, if you will, into holism and beginning to look at everything, because everything that you think, see, feel, and do affects your health. However, anxiety itself is not worth having. If you can't do anything about it, learn to detach. Now, if you can do something about it and you're willing to put your effort into it, go for it. Whatever you want to do, whether it's fighting something or changing something or doing something. But remember, your purpose in life is to help people. And anything you do that helps people is just as important. The person who made this bottle of hand sanitizer, great, bless them. I love it. It helps people. The person who made this pen, same thing. I would be bored out of my gourd trying to do either one of these. I don't understand that kind of mechanical thing. Now, I can do surgery, as my grandson once says. My grandfather can operate in your brain, but he doesn't know how to do the screwdriver. Well, I do know how to use a screwdriver sometimes, but my forte is not making pens or paper or anything else. It is helping people. And interestingly, for instance, I had a man who came in this morning who has advanced prostate cancer. And he came in because he wanted to talk to me. He says, I need to talk to somebody who just doesn't give me 5 minutes. Well, he had a half hour if he wanted it. He could have had an hour if he wanted it, because I'm here to help people. That's my job in life. And I enjoy that. No matter what the problem is, I really enjoy that. I talked, interestingly, to a woman today who has had her thyroid gland taken out, and we're helping her manage that. And she's pregnant. She's in her 30s, and she's doing well. Despite having had her thyroid out, she is managing everything exquisitely well, and has been now for the several years that I've been monitoring her. That's what life is about. It is escaping from, not just escaping, avoiding reactions to stress. Now, stress can be physical, chemical, emotional. It could be nuclear. But the important thing is it's your attitude towards it. Now, back in the 50s, when they used to advise us to keep on hand a big dose of iodine in case there was a nuclear explosion, so that we wouldn't have our thyroid destroyed by radioactive iodine. Wonderful. I did keep it on hand for that purpose. And if there was a nuclear exposure today, I probably would take a whole bottle of iodoral to turn off my thyroid so it wouldn't take up the nuclear energy. I mean, and then I would not worry about it again. The important thing is you are responsible. Now, there are many different tools that you can add to the biogenics and the common sense approach to health. And my first such tool was TENS, transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation. And just this morning, I had a woman ask me, well, how do I use it? Well, for her case, because she has pain in the lower half of her body, instead of trying to put it, you can't put it around, above and below, or around the pain when it's the whole half of your body, I recommend that she place it on either side of the Achilles tendon, that thing that goes down the back of your calf. Those are acupuncture points, bladder 60 and kidney 3 on both sides. And stimulating those very strongly with TENS can relieve pain all the way up to the head. So it's just one use of a very simple device. Interestingly, back in the early to mid 70s, those gadgets used to cost $500 to $600. You can buy them for $50 now on the internet, and they're just as good as they were when they cost $500 or $600. That is true progress. Not everything has gotten that much progress and that cheap over the years, but your health is worth everything. It is more important than anything else in life. Your health is more important than a house. It's more important even than your job, ultimately, because without that, you can't function well. The important thing is whatever you fear, learn what you can do about it and detach from those things you cannot do about it. I am happy to be working here at KICK. It's a very pleasant place. The stress level, for me at least, I hope it's not heavier for anybody else, is about as low as I've ever seen in a radio station or whatever. But the important thing is, if I can't change it, I detach. And how do I do it? I just do one brief autogenic training. I ordinarily have to repeat the words only one time. Now, in my office, I generally do 4 to 6 repetitions of each word. And doing only 4 to 6 repetitions, I can reduce blood pressure 90% of the time in people with hypertension. So I want you to be aware of these words. You relax, of course. You don't do this when you're driving. You don't do this when you have to pay attention to something. But you just close your eyes and I say, as I breathe in, my arms and legs are heavy and warm as I breathe out. And each of these is done that way, breathing in and out. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My breathing is free and easy. My abdomen is warm. My forehead is cool. My mind is quiet and still. I am at peace, and I'm there. I truly feel totally okay almost always after one simple repetition of this. Now, when you're training, you ideally do it for 18 minutes twice a day. And of course, for people with the most severe form of anxiety and stress and fear, you may need to do it 6 or 8 hours a day. So what? What's better, to be training yourself to release that stuff or to wallow in fear and anxiety? We offer, for instance, an intensive program, even for people at home. Today, virtually, you can do it. You can get the biogenics course, and we can recommend which 3 or 5 you might want to concentrate in. A 6-hour program, consult with you by phone or Zoom or Skype, and guide you once a day about what's going on and how to go. And I want to mention, of course, electronics, in addition to TENS that have improved life for millions of people over the years. Cranial electrical stimulation. Back in the early 70s, everybody who developed some variation on a TENS device brought it to me to get what I call the good housekeeping seal of approval. In 1975, Saul Liss brought me one he called the pain suppressor. And I put it on and I said, I don't feel it, Saul. He said, you don't have to feel it. It does. I said, bring me one I can feel and I may talk with you about it. So he brought me one I can feel. Thank God I didn't put that on my head. He brought me one. It shocked my hand. It was strong enough to do that. And then I just put it on low and put it on my head and I saw flickering lights. Isn't that interesting? Very much like electro sleep therapy, which developed in Russia 50 years or more ago. And of course, that was the foundation of what became the cranial electrostimulator. Not very good for pain control on the body, but put on the head, it raises your beta endorphin and your serotonin and helps 80% of people who are depressed and helps you sleep better that night if you use it in the morning. But of course, over the years, we've developed all kinds of other electrical gadgets that are wonderful for stress control. And these include, of course, my favorite of all time, the Gamma PEMF device, which is the best known therapy in the history of the world for treating depression and anxiety. I've taken the most anxious people in the world, and often within 20 to 30 minutes, they are at peace. It is good for local pain control as well, but its greatest advantage is on reducing emotional anxiety and stress And anxiety is the result of emotional distress. And of course, another gadget that is wonderful is the adrenomedular scalar device. And it actually not only reduces your emotional stress, your feeling stress, but decreases your stress chemicals. That is the things that are dead cells in your body, the free radicals in your body decrease a good 40 to 50% just by being exposed to the scalar energy. So there are all of these additional things in addition to biogenics and the pain transformation. They're good for stress control. Now, I want to mention that in today's world, we need infinitely more of certain nutrients than you could even get out of plants and fruits or animals or whatever. That is because of fluoride in the water and glyphosate, Roundup poison from Monsanto. We need 10 times as much B complex as we did 50 years ago. You can get by with 1 to 2.5 milligrams of the basic B1, 2, B1, 2, and 4, and 6. But you can't do that today. You need about 25 milligrams of each of those, as well as gobs of other things. Like, you can get by without vitamin D, but you're going to suffer in the long run. Your immune system is going to weak. You're going to be much healthier if you take adequate D3 and vitamin C. Yeah, you used to get by on 60 to 100 milligrams. Now you need 2,000 milligrams and 1,000 milligrams of MSM in order to, well, keep your brain and your immune system healthy. Remember, the brain controls everything. That is there whether you treat it well or not. Your immune system is second only to the brain in affecting everything in your body. Most illnesses have problems with the immune system, and they can affect any organ in your body just as the brain can. There's no question. The number one cause of death in this country is still heart disease, followed quickly by cancer. But those are both affected by your immune system and your fear, your anxiety. So learn to control your fear and your anxiety and take care of your body and your brain and your immune system as a whole. Everything affects everything. It is your responsibility to take care of and escape from fear. Every thought is a prayer. Thinking sets in motion spiritual forces. Keep them going. And now we'll be back to you after this very deep breath.
It seems like a lot of things are different these days. You know what hasn't changed? Commercial break. We will be on there for about 5 minutes.
Okay, so I'll keep talking. Any questions on the internet?
So far, no questions. Julie and Susan both say hello.
Well, hello, Julie and Susan. Have a good day. And of course, we will be taking calls open line Wednesday immediately after this. I do want to mention, while we're waiting for that time, everybody needs supplements, in my opinion. I mean, I raise my own food, but I still take gobs of supplements. And my favorite place to get those is Spring Valley Natural Foods right here in Springfield. Why is that my favorite? Because I don't know where to find things when I go in a store like that. You know, in a clothing store, you can find it fairly easy, but in a supplement store, they've got thousands of things, and you don't know where they are. Spring Valley serves you. You walk in, they come to the door immediately, or come to you immediately and ask you, what can they help you with? I don't say, well, no. I say, well, I need some vitamin C, or I need some Dr. Shealy's, whatever, because Spring Valley carries all of our products. The Shealy-Sorin magnesium lotion and spray, our 5 bliss oils, Everything that we make is carried there, but more importantly, that's the place where I shop, and you should too. And of course, every American needs adequate antioxidants. The average American is getting only 20% of what they need. You are going to be ill and die if you don't get any adequate antioxidants. You can raise that to 50% easily by adding Nature Blessed tart cherry juice concentrate. 2 tablespoons is 3,700 ORACs. That's equivalent to 3.75 of the best servings of fruits and vegetables in the world. Available in the produce department at real grocery stores. If they don't have it, they are a fake grocery store. Nature Blessed tart cherry juice concentrate lowers your cholesterol, is antioxidant, anti-stress, but darn tasting about as good as anything you ever want to taste. I actually take, well, not just 2 tablespoons, but 3 a day at least, because I like the taste of it. And you will find it at the real grocery store. So, folks, it's your responsibility to take care of yourself. And in just a couple of moments, we're going to be ready to take your calls at 417-447-1777, 417-447-1777. Don't be bashful. Ask me anything about anything right here on the air.
We've got about 2 minutes, and we do have a couple of questions now.
Oh, good.
One of them is, what are your thoughts on microbiome and using fermented foods to help with building your immune system?
I love microbiomes and I love fermented foods. My favorite is homemade sauerkraut, actually. But I also take probiotics. Now, there's several of them. The company I like most is Now, N-O-W. They make 2 different brands, one called GR8 Dophilus. That stands for acidophilus, but they've got 7 others as well. And they make a probiotic 10. And both of those are excellent, and I recommend everybody consider them whether or not they use fermented foods.
Okay. And then somebody was asking, they said they have Shealy made glasses.
Have what?
Shealy made glasses.
Oh, they Relax Mate. The Relax Mate.
That might be.
Yeah.
She was asking if they still carry them, and hers are not working.
If they quit working?
Yeah.
How long have they had them then? I don't know. I mean, they're guaranteed for a year, as everything is. So if they break within a year, we will replace them. Get in touch with the store, and they'll replace them for you if they broke within a year.
You got about 15 seconds, and then we'll be back on the
Okay, excellent. Everybody, get ready for giving us a call. 417-447-1777.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and KICK.
Now, back to Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norm Shealy and Dr. Sergey Sorin.
Good afternoon. We are back on the air and ready for your questions right now. And good afternoon. Hello, what can I do for you?
Hello, Dr. Shealy. This is Christine. I recently, or about a month ago, took the Moderna vaccine, which I know you would scold me. However, I had a situation where I absolutely had to be vaccinated to travel and help. And after the 2 shots, I did have some trouble. And one of the trouble is about at least 10 or 20 years ago, I stopped getting fever blisters. I used to get them as a child, and probably it's been 10 or 20 years since I've ever had one. I am 71. Unfortunately, after that second bout of Moderna, it resurfaced. However, I have only had fever blisters. It threw that herpes virus everywhere. And I finally went to my doctor because it kept reoccurring all over my body. Never had it other than on my lip. So my doctor said, I think I'm going to have to put you on a very strong antiviral because your body has, like, the immune system has abandoned all other viruses. However, I only take your supplements, and I do every single morning do fire, crystal, earth, and air every single morning. I've taken your transcutaneous course with acupuncture. Do you have any other suggestion, other like an L-lysine or anything
Oh, yeah,
else?
definitely lysine, up to 6,000 milligrams or more a day.
6,000 a day.
Yes.
Okay.
And zinc, 30 milligrams of a chelated zinc.
Okay. 30 milligrams.
Yeah, just for this short period of time. Eventually, you'll get down to 10 milligrams. But for now, for at least 2 weeks, I would take 30 milligrams of zinc, as well as 6 to even 10 grams of lysine a day.
10,000, 6,000 to 10,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
okay.
if that does not make a difference within a week, and I would expect it to make some difference,
Okay.
you need large doses of intravenous vitamin C.
Okay.
Available only at holistic physicians. Don't even think about it with an average physician.
Yes. Yes. And my physician, she knows that I have never taken a flu shot, but unfortunately I took the risk and I took it. But I am so grateful to get through to you. I was on with your office today getting supplements and asked if you had anything there, that I could take for this. And she suggested that I give you a call.
Right.
I just, like a small miracle, I got a hold of you. Thank you so much.
Well, let me know how it works. I hope it's take care of it for you.
Okay. Thank you so much, and take care, Dr. Shealy.
Blessings. And good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello?
Hi.
Yes. What can I do for you? You have a question?
Hey, because hi. Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
Oh, is this Dr. Shealy?
Yes.
Hi, Norm. This is Martha.
Hi.
And hi.
My first girlfriend was named Martha.
Oh, well, I'm your pen pal. I'm the same one. Anyway, when you were talking about before cell phones and computers and TV and the horse and buggy, I was like, well, Norm was around back then, wasn't he?
I love it. Thank God for humor
I knew you
today.
would. I had to say that. You are the ageless wonder, and that's my intention as well. However, I do have some challenges, and I'd like to run them by you. The first thing is fear and anxiety. I've spoken about this before. Severe trauma under the age of 5 from a violent father, and it set up a pattern of lifelong anxiety that I didn't even know I had. It was like it was implanted in my cells. It was so deeply wired. And it's only in the last few years, when I started having a fib in the last 8 years, that this came to the surface. And a very fine medical intuitive pointed out that, Martha, there's nothing wrong with your heart. This is anxiety. So I've continued to suffer with my heart. My health has gone downhill. I've had 10 cardioversions. I've been on the cardiologist train with all the drugs, and I had an ablation in June, and it's a mess. I'm shredded by this whole thing. And I'm very angry at myself and also at cardiology, who doesn't have a clue what the root cause of AFib. We have an epidemic of AFib in this country, and they're clueless as to the cause. So that's one thing. And so I'm wondering if you could help me. I've done everything. I'm a healer myself. I'm a very conscious, spiritual person. I've done a lot of work, but I haven't been able to release this anxiety.
Where do you live?
Well, I'm kind of a gypsy right now. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in New York at the moment, and I'm a resident of Massachusetts.
Okay. The important thing is biogenics.
Okay.
For you, I would say you need to do biogenics. If you could you afford to do it 2 hours or more a day, time-wise?
Believe me, I'm not that busy. I'm on Mattress Island most of the time these days.
I know, but so, do you have just time to yourself for a minimum of 2?
Oh, yeah. I got nothing but time. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
A minimum of 2 hours, up to 4 hours a day of autogenic training or related exercises called biogenics.
Okay.
That's the single most important thing. The next thing is actually taurine, Taurine.
Right.
And the next, of course, and especially with your heart problem, is magnesium lotion. Now, the taurine, you need about 2,000 milligrams 3 times a day. And the magnesium lotion, you need either to bathe in it, I'm teasing almost, or but at least 2 teaspoons twice a day on your skin.
Okay. Okay. I will do that. I get signed up for the biogenics course. I must do it.
Yes, you can get the download just of autogenic or the whole biogenics course at Shealy-Sorin-Wellness.com.
Okay. That was a big question, but I have a second smaller question.
Okay.
Because I'm really suffering. In the last few months, I did pain in my on the medial side, below the ankle, at the edge of the heel bone. I've had it examined. It's not a bone spur. It's not plantar fasciitis. And sometimes it spreads over to the other side. And I'm in such pain that I can't walk. I'm hobbling. I'm walking like Walter Brennan. And it's so excruciating, and I just don't know what to do.
Well, first of all, I would rub it with a strong dose of castor oil.
Oh, okay.
And put on a sock and sleep in it. Be careful when you get up, however, if you're going to be walking around, the socks are somewhat slippery.
Yes.
And if that does not make a difference within a couple of days, a TENS unit placed just above the ankle on either side of the tendon, just above the ankle.
Okay. I'm just writing this down. Okay. I will try this soil and I'll do it today.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Thank
Blessings.
You. Thank you, Norm. Bless you. Love you. Bye.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Sucks.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
You said I was on the air?
You're on the radio. This is Dr. Shealy. What's it up?
Oh, hi, Dr. Shealy. I had a question about the Fisher-Wallace device.
Yes.
Why do people with heart conditions, why shouldn't they use it?
I missed, what is she?
Why should people with heart conditions not use that?
I don't know any reason with people with heart conditions should not use it, only if you have a pacemaker.
Oh, so you can use the Fisher-Wallace device if you don't have a pacemaker.
Yeah, if you've got a pacemaker, it won't hurt you, but it might stop the pacemaker. But other than that, it's totally safe.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Now, it's best used in the morning. One of the greatest problems with Fisher-Wallace is, in my opinion, they're stupid. Because they bought the List cranial stimulator when he passed away, and they recommend using it 20 minutes. They often recommend using it 20 minutes at bedtime, which to me is the worst thing in the world. You want to use it, always finish using it not later than noon, because it raises serotonin. And serotonin, you don't want to raise your serotonin at bedtime. You want it to be converted to melatonin.
You want to go to sleep, yes.
But it's a great device.
And safe if you don't have a pacemaker. Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for calling. Have a good one.
You too.
And now is your turn, 417-447-1777, to ask a question about anything. I don't know anything in the world that is not related to your health, because it's your reaction to it that makes the difference. It has nothing to do directly, it can, of course. I mean, you know, a bomb going off near you or a chemical poison going off near you, those are important, but hearing about it, fearing about it is the cause of the reaction to your own health and well-being. So whatever you are, in my opinion, the basic therapy is autogenic training. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Hi, my name is Natalie, and I was calling. I had a question about twitches. It's almost been a year, and I had started twitching, and I had called your show before, and you recommended the magnesium lotion and taurine.
Yes, indeed.
And I have been doing those, and I had went to a neurologist, and, they didn't run any tests or anything, but he said he thought it was benign fasciculations, and just thought it was fine. Well, I had a 6-month follow-up appointment, and he still feels that way. I mean, they're less than what they used to be. The twitches are less, but he asked about doing an MRI. He said he wanted to maybe, he said he thought that would be good to rule things out. What is your thoughts on that? Because I'm not really sold on, I just didn't know if that would be something.
I don't consider
good
MRIs dangerous.
Okay.
I like MRIs as a good diagnostic tool. Yes.
Okay, that was my question. I just wanted to make sure.
Don't go away yet,
something.
however, because if they don't find anything in the MRI, the only other treatment I know is the gamma PEMF test.
Okay.
It can.
And how would I do that?
Well, you would put it on your head. Actually, you wear a cap and put it on top of a cap. But it's
okay.
I could guide you on it through a consultation if needed. But if the magnesium and the taurine are not doing enough job in the long run and nothing else is found, I definitely would try the gamma pimp.
Okay, my mom has one of those, and I know I would be able to use it.
Borrow it for an hour or two, and you'll know within an hour or two if it's going to make a difference.
Okay, really? So just an hour or two every day, and then just see if I notice it going away?
Yes.
Okay, it came on after a virus, and so they said, the neurologist said that sometimes he thought that, after a prolonged sickness, sometimes it triggers those muscle spasms.
That is very true. That is correct. But again, even then, I would consider the PIMP device.
Okay, no, I'll try that, and then I will go ahead and go through with the MRI just to see, if that helps. And I had one other question, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I also get what's called lipomas a lot.
I understand lipomas. I've had 2 of them removed.
Okay. I've had a couple that I've had for about 15 years. They haven't grown or done anything different. But on my left leg, I've got some that I've had for a couple years, but that leg's always sore. They're small and they're not growing. Do you think that those would be something, worth getting removed? Do you think that's the cause of it?
I don't think a lipoma would be causing the tumor, no.
Okay.
But I do, if they are annoying, that is a place for surgery.
Okay.
I had one on my left shoulder for 30 years, and just electively, because Dr. Sorin came along, I had him take it off.
Mm-hmm. Did it come back?
No.
Okay. And would that be something Dr. Sorin could do in your office?
Yes.
To remove them?
Yeah, that's we did it right there in the office. He's taken off a couple of them.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, then I need to make an appointment.
And I had my first one taken off almost 60 years ago.
Really?
And it never came back either.
Okay,
that's a
what I
real place
worried
for
about
surgery.
is if I would get it taken off, if it would just come back anyway. None of them really caused me any issues. I just wondered if the leg pain I've been having could possibly be like if it was on a nerve or on a, I didn't know if it was worth getting it removed or not. But.
Definitely not likely to cause tremors. You're right.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
And now is your turn, 417-447-1777 to ask a question. Open line Wednesday. We talk about everything you want to talk about, but cause it is all related to your health. And of course, remember, at the Shealy-Sorin Wellness Institute, we do everything holistic, and we do 2 consultations by Skype, telephone, and Zoom, as well as in person. And of course, if you just have a simple question, you can ask me by email, norm@normshealy.com. If it gets complicated, we might have to talk. But I do answer questions from our folks if they are simple things that I can answer by email. And remember, The biogenics course and the pain management course are both available online at www.biogenicscourse.com or the pain management at www.holistichealthtraining.com. And good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, I'd like to ask Dr. Shealy a question.
Yes, ma'am. Go for it.
I had breast cancer this year. It was non-invasive, so it was all removed with a double mastectomy, and then I've had reconstruction. And I read that there are some vitamins that I shouldn't take because they help cancer cells as well as normal cells. I was just wondering your thoughts about that. And is it unsafe for me to take things like vitamin C because that would help cancer grow?
Heavens, no, that's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry. Vitamin C is anti-cancer.
Okay. So is there anything that I should avoid?
Well, personally, I think vitamin D3 and vitamin C and vitamin B complex are for everyone, no matter what's going on in their life. I don't know any reason not to take them.
Okay. Okay. Well, I had visited you with my husband last summer in the office, and you had given me a regimen, and I just kind of stopped after I started reading things. And so I'm just going to get back to that.
Definitely worth taking.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for asking. And good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, this is Joe calling.
Okay.
How are you doing? Is
Great,
this Dr.
thanks.
Shealy?
This is he. Go for it.
Hi, thank you. I'd like to know if I can ask you a question.
Yes. Please.
I have a concern about hemorrhoids, and it probably began about a year and a half ago, of which what instigated with I also had an abdominal pain on my left abdomen, just to the left of my belly button. I did proceed to have an endoscopic and colonoscopy twice to try to make sure that everything's fine, of which everything looked fine. I then noticed over the last year that I was getting daily, it was becoming more and more common to get daily rectal bleeding, and I'm assuming it was from the hemorrhoids. I then proceeded on the advice of my doctor to get a barium x-ray, of which came back normal. And I'm just trying to find out how to address the hemorrhoids, because I've lost enough blood that I have a need to take iron supplements. And so my blood count is lower because of this. And I'm in the process of still trying to find out what to do about the hemorrhoids. But causes and...
I hope you're not taking any aspirin or any ibuprofen.
No, not at all. I'm quite cautious about taking any kind of medication. I try to do things through any methods alternatively and naturally, and otherwise I'm in good health and I eat very well. So,
and I presume you've used Preparation H.
I have used a natural hemorrhoidal cream. It's more of a using some Chinese herbal cream. Right. It helps, but it's what I'm more concerned about is the bleeding that I've been getting. It used to happen very infrequently, and then it became more frequent. I would say over the last 6 months.
Okay. Have you taken any K2, vitamin K2?
I've taken vitamin K2 last probably about a year and a half ago, and then I phased off of it. I can't even recall why I was taking the K2, but is that something that you're recommending?
Well, K2 is a thing to help clotting. And if you don't have if you don't have a heart problem of any kind that we need to worry about, I would consider taking 15 milligrams of K2.
Oh, okay. So 15 milligrams of K2, got it. The other thing that I'm concerned about is that I still have this abdominal pain. About 2 years ago in the previous colonoscopy, they did say that I had H. pylori. And I did go through the first dose of antibiotics and the protocols that they offered. I was hesitant, but I still did it because I was concerned about, giving that to my family. And after that first dose, I thought it went away. When I went in for my second colonoscopy, they told me I still had it. And so they put me on an even stronger protocol of antibiotics and meds. And I had such a terrible, terrible reaction to it with bad nausea and could barely stand that I forced myself to take 8 days of it, and then I stopped.
Are your bowel movements regular?
The bowel movements were regular, yes.
Have you tried Pepto-Bismol? Pink bismuth can often help pylori.
So that was part of the protocol that was given to me last. That was last March, where I did that for 8 days. I stopped a few days, and then I tried to take it again, and I got the same reaction to antibiotics. So I did do most of it. I just couldn't complete it the last 4 days of it. So I don't know if the pain in my abdomen is related to anything.
I would think that a physician needs to examine physically. They've examined your abdomen physically?
They have, yes.
And if they don't feel that they need any other, MRIs or anything like that, but it suggests to me that you might need an MRI of the abdomen.
Yeah, I think that might be my next request to have that.
Yeah. I like MRIs. They're a good diagnostic test and safe.
Okay. Now, in terms of the hemorrhoids, is there any kind of cause that,
I don't know anything else that can help except preparation H.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your suggestion.
You are most welcome. Blessings. Thanks for calling.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry? Oh, goodbye, everybody. Hey, what an awesome, interesting day. Thank you all for being with me. And of course, if you have other questions, anything else, I've got a minute, I could answer one more on the internet.
Yeah, here's a good one. So Susan is going through rib shingles right now. She's treating the rash subdermally with colloidal silver, which is helping. Any other recommendations that she can take to healing?
Well, I don't know anything else that can help except a PIMP device, which when I got bad shingles, it really made a wonderful difference. A gamma PIMP device. Lysine and brains are wonderful when they work, Susan. Sorry, I think I better leave it at that. All right. Okay, y'all have a good one. See you next week.